What if I told you that DreamWorks is going to take another jab at Disney? Would you believe it? Shrek 5 will premiere in less than 2 years. And then comes the big question, who will be the villain of Shrek 5? In the first movie, we had Lord Farquaad. In the second, the fairy godmother with Prince Charming. In the third, Charming returns. And in the fourth, it was Rumpelstiltskin's turn. I have a few guesses about who the next villain could be, including Mickey, and I want to see if you agree with me. Welcome to another Cine Lovers episode, your movie channel. Welcome to Far, Far Away. I was sure Shrek 5 was going to happen. In fact, I even made a video a while ago talking about the movie. If you're already subscribed and turned on all the notifications, you probably saw it. If you're new here, relax because you're going to stay up to date with the latest film and animation news, as there's going to be a bunch of releases. The first candidate for the movie's villain is the Lobo, or Death, who appears in Puss in Boots 2. Many fans want the Lobo to return and be the villain in Shrek 5. First of all, the character is incredible. His story in Puss in Boots 2, his plot, was perfect. No one expected him to be deaf, or that he'd give Puss so much trouble. That movie was epic, and the Lobo's role there was brilliantly wrapped up. Even though it was hinted that he might return, I believe it would be too soon to bring him back in Shrek 5. Maybe in a future production of the franchise, he could make an appearance in Shrek 5, but I think DreamWorks will hold off for now. Something I would really love to see is if an old villain returned. You can say, but practically all of them died. We're talking about a fairy tale franchise. Anything can happen. And especially now that many nostalgic, old characters are returning to their franchises, it's the perfect time for Shrek 5 to do the same. Just make sure to do it right. Right, DreamWorks? If you had to choose between Lord Farquaad, the fairy godmother, Charming, and Rumpelstiltskin, who would you bring back for Shrek 5? You can only choose one. Comment down below. Who could return? And I'd really love to see it, because I think there's still more story to tell about this guy. Is Jack Horner also from Puss in Boots 2? Imagine Jack causing trouble with Shrek, or trying to go after Puss in Boots for all the stress he caused him. Who knows, right? Just a suggestion for DreamWorks. I don't know if everyone noticed, but all 4 Shrek movies were released every 3 years. Shrek 1 in 2001, which even won an Oscar, the second in 2004, then in 2007, and the fourth, the final chapter, which wasn't really the final one because there's going to be a fifth, premiered in 2010. However, Shrek 5 is scheduled to be released in July 2026, meaning 16 years after the fourth film. This is going to generate massive hype. It's already building, but by then, it's going to be even bigger. I believe it will be more successful premiering 16 years later than it would have been if it had been released 3 years later like the others. This delay creates expectations and hype. Everyone is going to want to watch it. Everyone knows Shrek. They just have to make a good movie, right? Otherwise, it would be better to leave it as it is. And if they make a bad movie, they'll have to make another one to fix the mess. Just like Toy Story 5 is being made to fix the mistake of the fourth film, for sure. Plus, it brings in a few $billion. I made this video with everything you need to know about Toy Story 5, and after this video ends, click on the card. Well, there are rumors that Shrek 5 might be a reboot of the first one. I already mentioned this to you before, and if that happens, the chances of fans getting frustrated are huge because we want Shrek 5 to be a sequel to Shrek 4. But if we look closely, the released logo has the number 5, so it wouldn't make sense for a reboot to have the number of a sequel in the title. So, maybe it's not a reboot. Let's hope, right? Especially because the franchise is already perfect. No one needs a reboot of Shrek right now. It's a universe where you can still tell plenty of stories. It deals with fairy tales, and that's endless. And speaking of fairy tales, this franchise knows them well. The Shrek franchise does a lot of parodies with fairy tales, especially the ones that became more famous through Disney. DreamWorks loves to take jabs, throw those little provocations at Disney, and it's not just in the Shrek franchise. In Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, the villain Chelsea is a mermaid, and she was definitely inspired by Ariel. And in B-Movie, where Winnie the Pooh and Piglet appear, they even shoot Pooh with a tranquilizer. That was heavy. What's not heavy at all is giving your like on this video. You don't need to carry the like around. Make a huge effort. Just click on it. Tap that thumbs up below. Simple, easy, and you help the channel a lot. Even if you're watching on TV, you can like all the videos you want. Just scroll down a little bit. Thanks a lot. Now, speaking of Disney, there's a chance that Mickey could be the villain of the movie. But the characters that DreamWorks parodies from Disney are already in the public domain. Mickey isn't. That's the thing. Mickey is in the public domain now. Disney no longer holds the copyright on Mickey. But hold on a second. The Mickey that's in the public domain is this one, the first Mickey. The current Mickey and other versions of him still belong to Disney. But since DreamWorks isn't afraid of taking risks, they could very well use this version that's no longer copyrighted to be the villain of Shrek 5. Just imagine if that happens. Or, what DreamWorks could do is create a villain who's a mouse and name him Mucky, Mike, something like that to reference Mickey, or a character who wants to buy and hire various fairy tale characters to put on shows at a circus, for example. This would reference how Disney buys several companies and launches new productions. That would definitely be the biggest jab ever taken at Disney. Even though it hasn't been confirmed yet, there's a chance, especially from a studio that loves to provoke Disney. Would you enjoy it if this happened? Leave your comment below. And it's worth mentioning that Shrek 5 isn't the only confirmed movie from the franchise. A solo movie about Donkey has also been officially announced and is going to happen. It was about time, right? Sooner or later, DreamWorks was bound to announce another spin-off from the Shrek universe. And I'll say even more, Puss in Boots 3 is only a matter of time. The first two were a massive success, so there's no reason to stop at the second. Plus, lots of people love Puss in Boots. For me, he's one of the best characters in the Shrek franchise. And speaking of sequels, Cars 4 is closer than you think, and Sonic 3 is coming out this year. And in the trailer, I spotted 28 secrets that you missed. Click here to find out what they are. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next Cine Lovers.